Hi everyone, Terri is here with WaterSong Creek Creations, and today we're going to do something a little different. During Amazon Prime Days, which feels like eons ago, but my life has been a whirlwind, I bought a Resiner's Smart Curing Machine. I have been seeing these around the internet. I've seen some demonstrations that are pretty impressive, and I hope they're true because it would be very helpful to all of us who make resin art in quantity to have it cure faster. Now, what this claims is that this will bring resin to a cure enough that it can be demolded in just 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm not gonna stand here and claim that this fully cures in 2 hours and 15 minutes because, well, I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know. But my belief at this point is that it would continue to cure after you demold it for a period of time, but this certainly would speed up the process a great deal. So I haven't used this yet. We're going to unbox it together and try it together. I think this is basically a dehumidifier. It's going to bring the temperature slowly up to a point and then back down to where it's safe to handle everything and demold. So let me move stuff around a little bit, and we'll start unboxing and see where this leads, hopefully to some good places. All right, let's get started. Okay, so here we go. The unboxing. Come out this way. It's very compact. I love it because everything in my room, my work room, is this color. So it matches pretty. All right, there's the top, the plug, and here are the trays. There appear to be 3 of them. And I know they're reversible. And you have, there's an hour and 20 minutes on the timer. And over here you can set the temperature from 95 to 158 degrees. And I think there's a way to set it automatically, but I'm going to have to read the instructions. Now, I know that you can turn the trays this way for deeper trays. I believe I saw one of them, you can put deeper trays on one side, but that's going to require me to do a little reading. Let's see. Yep, they sit deeper that way. But all put together, yeah, when you turn them upside down, they set up a little higher, so you could put something a little deeper on there. And that's how it goes. So I'm going to take a break, look over these instructions so I know what I'm talking about, and I'll be right back. Okay, reading through the instructions, I've realized a couple of things. There is these tabs on the bottom of the mold. I'm sorry, on the bottom of the tray. And that's how you know it's the bottom. The top side does not have those. These are kind of T-shaped. And when you put the tray on one way, see how that sits all the way down? When you turn it this way, 180 degrees, then it sits up higher. There's a gap here. Down here, there's no gap. Here's a gap. So you've got between a ½ inch and an inch in your depth between the trays, depending on whether you turn it one way or just 180 degrees. It's not that you turn it upside down, as I said earlier. Okay, and then there are some settings according to the instruction book, and the AI on this button on the left is an automatic setting, and they recommend that for beginners. So when you plug it in, you'll see 6 little dots across here, and then you press the AI and it brings the temperature up automatically, keeps it there for a time, and brings it back down. It also recommends that you pour your resin. You put whatever you're going to be making, and I'm going to be making some trinket trays. So as you can see, there's 5 trays right there. It says you can cover up the hole, but to me that seems to be where the air would flow, so I'm probably not going to do that. I'll experiment with it later and try it, but I don't know, I'm a little nervous the first time out to cover that up. And I am going to probably do some molds as well. I'm going to use all 3 trays and see how that does. But it recommends that you put the resin in and let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes to allow the bubbles to come up. Then you can use a torch or alcohol spray, the 91% alcohol spray, to pop any bubbles, and then start the curing time. And it also recommends that you let it sit for 15 minutes once it cures. So that 2 hours is now about 3 hours. But I'm going to be really interested to see that after 3 hours, are these items I take out of the mold going to be fully cured or speeded up and not hard? So I'm going to get everything set up, and I'm not going to make you watch me pour everything. I'm going to be using my trusty Pro Glass 1000 resin on everything I'm going to mix and pour today, but I will show you once everything is poured and in the trays before I plug it in and get started. So one thing I realized really quickly, these little trinket trays are going to fit in here fine because they are lower than the edge of the tray. These stick way up above, and these stick somewhat up above. So I will not be using these trinket trays. I'll just be using these little bitty short ones, which is fine. And then I'll do a bunch of molds. One other note, you can put this piece here, and let's say I'm mixing in this cup. I can mix my resin and then let it stand to for however long to let the heat make the bubbles rise, pop the bubbles before I pour, and then I'm pouring completely clear resin before I ever start. That's another use for this machine. It also says that you can cure without putting the top on for taller items. It's just not going to be the same effect as a closed off machine with all of that heat. So just a couple of tips. I fibbed. I said I wasn't going to film while I was making everything in the molds, but I did. I decided to go ahead and record it. So here's a quick minute and a half of me prepping everything to put into the molds. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but if you take a sheet of freezer paper and turn your cup upside down on it after you're done pouring your resin and leave it sit 24 hours, that leftover resin will run down, peels off of, as long as you use waxed freezer paper, that will peel off easily, and then all of the dried resin comes out of the cup in one fell swoop, and you can use it over and over again. Just a handy tip. Okay, I have all my molds poured and I'm ready to load the machine. I ended up using all molds. I took off all the ceramics and I'm just going to use molds. So these are my shortest molds that sit lowest in the tray. So I'm going to put that one in first. And then I want these other two, because this one is just a little bit high. It really doesn't come above the mold, but I'm gonna set them so that it's got the 1 inch between instead of the 1/2 inch. And let's hope, nope, that needs to rotate. Oops, and I see some resin slipped out here, so I want to clean that up. It's specified to be sure and clean the tray of any spills before running the machine, so I got that cleaned up. There's a little bit on the bottom. All the behind the scenes thing you never see normally. So that is not the lowest. There, that sits up higher. Okay, and then hopefully we get this one right on the first try. Yes. Okay, so the machine is loaded. And these come down just a bit, so I'm hoping I see how this comes in. I'm a little concerned about that. So I'm going to put my soap dish trays on the bottom. This has got resin on it, so I'll scoot that out of the way. And then hopefully I won't have interference I had seen someone mention that, so I wanted to be aware. Let's see if this works a little better. All the things you don't know that you don't know the first time you try something new. Does that one go in the right direction? Yes. So I've got that lip between each one, so that's the highest space it will go. And then put the lid on, plug it in. There are the buttons, and according to the instructions, and since I'm a beginner, I'm going to use it on the AI, the automatic setting, and it said both knobs need to be up top. And let me bring you down here where you can see a little closer. There we go. All right, so that's straight up, that one's straight up. That power button, well, the light came on when I plugged it in. Let's see what happens when I push the AI. It said to rotate and then push, but that's not working. All right, take two. Okay, we're gonna plug in the machine again. And the light came on. And I'm just letting that cycle, and then there we go. The AI button is on, and you hear the noise. It has started. So I'm going to set the timer for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and we'll come back and see where we stand. So I'll be back in 2 hours and 15 minutes. You'll be back in about 2 seconds. I just wanted to point out that the timer on this resin curing machine is doing a countdown. This is at 96 minutes. It will not focus on my phone for some reason, but it does say that it's 96 minutes. It started at 120 minutes. It's also displaying the temperature, which is staying consistent because I have it on the automatic setting. But I'm working in the room with it, so I can keep an eye on the timer. Otherwise, I would have set the timer on my phone like I had mentioned if I were in another part of the house. But that's pretty handy to know how much time you have left, so you can kind of plan around that. Quick update. At about 1 hour in, I noticed the temperature had gone to 149. I don't know why this won't focus, but it started at 95, it went up to 149. We're down to 27 minutes and it's still at 149. So this is going to be a quick cool down, I think. So the timer just went off and it is flashing that it is in its cooling stage. So I'll time how long the cooling stage goes. Okay, moment of truth. The cool down period only lasted 1.5 minutes, which surprised me. But then I did wait another 15 minutes for things to cool down. This is a little bit warm to the touch, but not hot by any means, considering that it was up to 150 degrees about 35, 40 minutes ago. I'm surprised at how cool it is, but let's jump in and see what we have. I've unplugged it and here we go. These are very cool to the touch. There's, you know, a little bit of warmth, but not much at all. And okay, now that's very warm. That's on the bottom. That is very warm to the touch. And it's a little bit warped. It's deeper on this side than this side, but it is hard I feel like I could mush my fingernail into it, which is what I said I thought would happen, that it would be cured enough to demold, but it would need to sit and finish curing so that I could use the mold again on another project right away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a tray with some freezer paper on it, that where it can cure. Oh look, I just happen to have one right here. So it can finish curing on the freezer paper and not stick. Yep, these are really, really warm. I'm reluctant to even demold right now, but I am going to try one. So let's just see what happens. I should probably put on gloves in case it's really hot to the touch. I think I will do that. You know, put on plastic gloves to touch something hot so it can mold the plastic to my fingers. That's brilliant. Brilliant. All right. So the mold is coming away nicely. There's no resistance or anything there. And it is hard. I mean, it for 2.5 hours, this is pretty incredible. So I do feel like, yeah, see, I can push that a little bit. It's a little bit, yeah, it's definitely bendy, but it's a little thick as well. It's not like thin. So I'm kind of glad I'm taking them out of the mold, because now they'll have a chance to flatten out. So let's keep going and see what happens. I've got some overflow here that'll be real easy to pull off at this stage of the game. I've got my handy little deburring tool right here that I can just run along and get those off. Easy peasy. That's very easy. Now that's just smooth as it can be. And while it is warm to the touch, it's not burning me, so that's perfect. Again, that's a little bit, it's a little bit wobbled, but it's flattening out fine. All right, last one on the soap dishes. Whoops, there we go. These are great, by the way, these pebble soap dish holders or soap dishes. Well, that's wanting to cut in a little deeper. There we go. I sell these like crazy. People just love them. They're great, natural looking place to put your soap dish. Okay. And that one is flat and fine. So those three are good. And what's nice is I can turn around and I'd let the mold cool down a little bit before I made another one again, but I don't think it would take very long to cool down at all. All right, have a little bit of resin on there. I'll get off when it's cooled. All right. The little turtle is really hard. He's good to go, I believe. Yep, he's fine. It's hard to see with my gloved hand, but isn't he cute? Such cute detail on him. Okay, and my mermaid, she seems to be good to go. I don't normally do the mermaids in color, but I had, oh, look how bendy she is. Wow, that's really bendy, but I'm gonna lay her down on the tray. She will dry and we'll be good to go. Now, this, I'm not going to take this out of the mold because, well, maybe I will. I brought the other one up to the top of the mold. This one I didn't, but since they're already cured, I'm going to go ahead and take them out. And these are really bendy too. Oh, but aren't they pretty? They're just not as thick as what I normally pour. But look how pretty that is. Oh, I like that a lot. So, again, just set them down to dry flat and they should be good to go. This is fun. This is great to know. I can use these molds again right away. Look how pretty that is. Gorgeous from that side. Ah, I love it. This is so great. Now here's some of the resin dripped down and it just lifted right off, no problem. All right, so we have the other mold. Now this one I did top off, so it'll be thicker, but everything is peeling away just as it should. I love these molds. I get these at Crown Mold on Amazon. They're such a nice thick mold. I do my wine glasses on these. Again, that's very, very, very bendy, but I set it down on the flat surface, it's going to be fine. And what makes me happy about this is not that, you know, oh, I've got to wait 24 hours for it to cure. I can use these molds again right away and keep producing. So look how pretty that is. Got a little bit of a reflection. All Christmassy with the snowflakes. Okay, and then we've got another mermaid. As I was saying, I usually do the mermaids in white and then use them as embellishments on some of my ocean pieces. But I had leftover resin, so why not? And this is a gorgeous color. All right, get all the little pieces off. Again, I could bend her in half just about, but I'll lay her flat and she'll be fine. Here's another turtle in a different color. Oh, they're so cute. And mermaid tail keychains. So I just did some flashy silver for her tail. Taking these out. These are so cute. Just put a keychain on them and they're good to go. Those colors are really pretty. I love this silver glitter in the tail. And last one. Cute, cute. Okay. So, let me get the phone off of the holder. So here's everything that I was able to do in one pour. I've got 3 soap dishes, 2 turtles, 2 mermaids, 3 mermaid tail keychains, and 4 coasters. That's a pretty good haul for 2.5 hours of time in the curing machine. So I'm going to call this one a success. I'm really happy about it, and I think it's going to increase my productivity. I know a lot of people that are resin artists are looking forward to Christmas and great big craft shows and sales, all kinds of events through the holidays, and now is the time to be prepping for that. So I got this on Prime Days, and being honest, I think the price went up, and then after Prime Days the price came down, because I checked a little while ago and they were $89 on Amazon right now, and I think I paid close to $100 on Amazon Prime. I think they had it marked at $150 a few weeks ago during Prime Days. So I I don't regret paying $100 for it. It's very well worth it to me. But shop around and find the best price for it. But I do recommend it strongly, and hope it works for you as well as it seems like it's working for me. All right, thanks a bunch for checking in, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.